Like, share, subscribe. Live for Love TV. Awesome!
Like, share, Live for Love TV. Welcome back to Live for Love TV. Today is the third day, the first month, 22nd year inside the 21st century. Hope everyone's doing well out there. Well, had another one of those phone conversations with one of my people, one of my good friends, female friends, and we were discussing some subjects that men and women very rarely talk about together these days. And basically, we're both modern people, aren't we? So I'm a modern man. Obviously, it's 2022. She's a modern woman. But it seems like we're becoming further and further apart. And back in the 70s, you had women's lib. Now we're in the 21st century. We're having the manosphere. So it's like tea and toe, you know, from side to side, like a seesaw. One time women had the power. Now it seems like men are getting back into the power struggle. We really need to get to some sort of balance rather than one-sided. But the conversation was really interesting because the sister was very open and spoke her truth and was prepared to listen, though she challenged as much as she could. But eventually she calmed down a little bit and was prepared to listen, which is, I said to her, is one of the biggest problems we have in modern times, trying to get a woman to actually listen. Now, I've said it before and I'll say it again. There's old stories of men saying that you are the captain of your ship, you know, telling men that, you know, how to run their lives. Well, the truth is, every man is a captain of his ship. And who he brings on to that ship is totally down to him. But in that ship, in the helm of that ship where he's on the bridge, that's his domain because he's the captain of it and he decides where it's going and at what speed of knots it goes and all the rest. Now, I'll say this and I'll say this clearly. No woman can be on the bridge. And if she is allowed on the bridge, it's because she has the kind of temperament that will be quiet and listen while he explains how the thing goes on the bridge, because he's the captain of the ship. Now, you can't have two captains of a ship. You absolutely never have a captain of a ship. When you watch an old movie of a captain, one captain goes off while the other one comes on. You almost never have two captains on a ship at the same time. There's a good reason for that, because only one person can run that ship. Only one person can make those decisions. So one captain at a time. It seems like somewhere along the line, we're becoming to modern times where women have tried to captain the ship. Now, no one says a woman can't run her own life or the life of whoever she's involved with, you know, children or whoever, you know, she wants to be with. But when it comes to, when you get a man involved in your life, you cannot run his life and you cannot be the captain of that ship. There can only be one captain. Now, if you're the captain of the ship, then there's a name for those men. We call them henpecked. You know, like you throw some corn in the and the hen go and they start pecking at that horn. Wherever you throw, they do. That's called a hen-pecked man. Now, they use a lot of the modern words for that now as, what do they call it? I don't know. I hear on the internet people using all kind of names and simps and some other names they use for it. But really, in the old days, it was just a hen-pecked man. It was somebody that women could literally control at will. They do what the woman says, and they're really very unmanly. The problem with those kind of men is that whenever something very serious goes down, the woman has to also do that as well. She has to get the hammer out or the gun out or whatever she has to do to defend the family, because this henpecked man just hasn't got that in him. He's lost all ability to be a true man. So most women don't really want somebody like that. They may have somebody like that for a period of time, but sooner or later they've had enough and they don't want someone like that. And they get rid of him. And if they can't find a real man like they're looking for, then they stay alone. That happens a lot with the modern sisters now. So as I was saying, the discussion was very good. The sister admitted that masculinity has come into a lot of the modern women's position. And that masculinity is in arguing when they shouldn't be arguing. They need to, as we came to an understanding at the end of the conversation, that the problem is that a lot of these women do not respect the men that they've picked. Therefore, they want to argue and disagree and, you know, get into dialogue about things that are of no real sense. And it just goes on, back and forth till it just eventually breaks down. The truth is, if she respects the man from the minute she picks him, then she doesn't need the argument. She doesn't need a war. She just lets him, you know, direct the ship or drive the car or whatever it is. She'll let him do it without any argument. But because she doesn't respect the man, she can't do that. So she ends up doing that and doing it. Eventually the man, as I said, has enough if he's a man and decides that's it. You go and find a ship and you go and sail it around. Because this is not the way this is not the way it's designed. And as I said, you're going to find a lot of women pushing back against these arguments because they want to be captains. But they'll never be a captain. They cannot be a captain. They don't understand what it is to be a captain. You can have certain directional powers in your life. Of course you can. If you decide you want to have this career or that career, or you want to drive this car against this car, these are nothing to do with being a captain. A captain is somebody who's directing a whole numerous set of people and groups and leadership. And his life is on the line at all times. And he cannot, become emotional when things don't work out his way and start saying you're to blame and you're to blame and my second's to blame and my third. The buck stops with the captain. And he knows that. That's what real captains do. They understand that. That's why I'm saying that a woman shouldn't want to be a captain. It's not what she was cut out for. She's not really cut out to be a captain. She shouldn't want to be a captain. And she's going to be going against her own nature. The longer she tries to be a captain, till eventually she's going to end up an angry, bitter old lady because it's not the job that she was designed to do. So the best thing is not to go down that road. Find somebody that you respect, like I said, and he will be your captain. And you will do all the other things because a captain can only do so much. A captain on a ship he has to watch the sea. He has to watch the weather. He has to watch the direction. He has to watch so many things. He has to know what's going on in the hull. He has to know all these things. But he can't do all of these things. He has to have the right people around him in order for his ship to move. So if you're a female and you come into a situation where you have a good captain, you know your job. You know what you have to do in order to make the captain do what he has to do. That's how good relationships work. Everybody knows what they have to do. Even in a team. Everyone has the job that they do in that team. You may have a captain of that team, but that captain is not saying that he is the team. He's just the captain of the team, which every team needs. So that's where it is, and that's why I was saying, as the conversation I had the other day was really revealing, because the sister started at a place where it was clear that she didn't get or understand what I was saying. But the longer she spoke, the more she actually listened, the more she started to understand what I was actually trying to get over to her, is the more she realized that she's saying there's nothing bad that I'm saying. I'm not trying to get men to rule over women. It's not about rulership on bossing people around and badding people up. It's nothing to do with like that. It's about working together within our actual proper structure that we are as male and female. Now, we need that to work, not just because we want our children to see it work and be happy and our grandchildren to see it work, but when it works well. And when it works, there's nothing better than a good man-woman relationship. I said it before, I don't care, and I'll say it again. If you see two women in a relationship, whatever they want to call it these days, there's always a masculine figure in that. And if there's two men in a relationship, there's always a feminine in that. That's because that's the way it is. Why? They wouldn't have to do it if that wasn't the true way it is. Someone's always playing the woman in the man relationship, and someone is always playing the man in two women's relationship. Why? Because nature's made it so. I didn't make it so. So take care. Look after yourself. Live for Love TV. Be back at you soon.
One step more.